Okay, hey y'all, let's go ahead and do another draft. And this pack, ooh, Zombie Dread Knight, excellent. That's the card we need foremost for the stupid zombie deck I'm trying to build. Necreum sucks in this set, but it doesn't matter. I was going to force it anyway because I really need the heroics from Necreum, like the Leyline Demon and the Zombie Dread Knight. So that's good. I think the best faction with Necreum right now is Aloyan. My options are pick a bad Fellwalker is an awful card. Not very good with Zombie Dread Knight or anything like that. It's best to be Utera, I think, in the Zombie Dread Knight deck. So I can like take Fellwalker and try to go into Utera, but I want to try Aloyan Necreum. I want to try Nixium because I think that faction pair is a little stronger than the Dejin one. Even though the individual cards they don't mesh as well, I think. This pack's not that great. Metamine Operator and Necrotic Armor are both like mediocre creatures. Aegis Conscript's a good protector, especially if I could pick up Regen with Zombie Dread Knight. 8th Rage Oracle's a decent underdrop. It's got 6 power, then 12 power, then 18 power, and it levels up a spell in your hand. But I think Aegis Conscript's the pick here. It works well with Regen, which are things I want to be picking up pretty highly. I would like to take the Flowsteel Carrier here, because it's a very, very good card with Darksteel Enforcer and any robots I pick up. But I think I'm going to pick the Symbiote for the Zombie Dread Knight. I want to have some decent creatures with regen, so I can... Zombie Dread Knight's worth playing. So let's go ahead and pick that. Countermeasure is not a card I really like at all. It's just not very good. Like, it does two things, but it doesn't do either of them particularly well. Like, giving a creature +4 attack is okay. Giving a creature -4 attack is not okay. It's, like, pretty bad. So, you don't want to cast a spell to give a creature attack instead of just like... That's why Darksteel Enforcer or Matrix Warden are good, because they're creatures that give other creatures attack. Or, Nagrath Bruiser, or Nargath Bruiser, whatever the card's called. The counterpart to Darksteel Enforcer in this set that gives a health to a creature. Or I guess Darkroot Shambler as well. So I'm just going to take the decent Demon Web Watcher. It's a decent card, nothing special. Torrent Witch gives regen, but Scourge Hydra's gigantic, so I'm going to take that. There are very, very few good Necreum cards. Another card I could pick is Pommel Pack. This card is kind of hit and miss. It's really, really good if you draw it on, like, if you're going second and you have it in your hand plus a creature. That sets the tempo for the entire game. But if that's not the case, you kind of have to wait until you play only have one creature in play, until it's, like, very good. And then it's not great if you don't play it with just one creature. It's kind of like Tech Upgrade, which is a decent card, but nothing special, and that's kind of what Pommel Pack is. So I'd rather take Scourge Hydra, which is a more reliable creature, especially since I'm in Necreum, and Necreum's creatures are all kind of awful. And Ebon Skull Knight's a fantastic creature. It's an 8/8, it's a heroic, it's good and constructed sometimes. It's definitely the pick here, no questions asked. I could take Catacomb Spider to work with my Dread Knight, or I could take Aegis Conscript. They're both pretty similarly sized. Catacomb Spider is actually bigger at ranks 2 and 3. It's an 8/10, and a 15/16, whereas this is only a 6/9 and a 12/15. So I'm going to take the Catacomb Spider. Death Current's bad. It's too random, like literally too random to make work. And Blood Barrier is definitely one of the worst, the worst of the blood cards. So taking a Spider here. I could take Demon Wood Watcher again, or I could take Blightskull Phantasm. I don't remember... this pick's actually kind of close. I tend towards the Blightskull Phantasm because it has more power at rank 1. It's got also a really cool level. When you level up, it shrinks the creature in front of it, which is more useful than making everything lose aggressive like Demon Web Watcher. Both of these cards are pretty unplayable. I think Zithian Host is actually worse than Orient Steelskin because, at least with regen, giving an armor sometimes can do something to a creature, whereas Zithian Host will never pretty much do anything. I'm going to take the Batterbot here instead of the Acolyte or the General because I have a chance to open Flowsteel Prototype, or Flowsteel Carriers, I mean, and give this creature armor. Plus, I have an Orient Steelskin, which I can't imagine wanting to play it, but if I do, and I have a Batterbot in play, it's probably my best play. And the other cards aren't really worth talking about. I could take Darkshard Witch for the Darksteel Enforcer, but the cards, the Darkforged and these two colors aren't actually that... empowering. Like, Darkshard Witch it's a decent creature. It's actually a very good Necreum creature because again, the Necreum creature pool is very shallow. You end up seeing a lot of Necrotic Worms and Fellstriders, or Fellwalkers, I mean. So having just a 5/4, 10/9, 15/14 is pretty good. But Darksteel Enforcer does not scale very well in multiples. It scales horribly. Like a 4/6 rank 1 is decent. It's pretty average, I'd say. And 6/8 is awful, and 8/10 is really, really bad. So this card's ability scales, but its body is pretty much always the same, so you don't actually keep wanting to play it unless you have the Spring Dryads, the Shadow Mist Angel, which is really low in toughness for a Spring Dryad, or the black one, which has regen. I can't remember what it's called right now. Shadeclaw Zombie? Yeah. So I'm going to take the Ionic War Charger. It's a decent all-around threat. If I pick up those Flow Steel carriers I really want, it can give armor, and I think it's just a little better than Darkshard Witch. I kind of get punished because the best card in this pack is Darksteel Enforcer, but I still think Ionic War Charger is a good pick here. I have 2 Darksteel Enforcers, so an Ossuary Spirit is not even actually that bad, especially with the Zombie Dread Knight. So I can assemble a large Ossuary Spirit, which is... Ossuary Spirit's a bad card, don't get me wrong. It's not very good at all. It's a 1/9 with regen 3, which is horrible. Like, it only does 1 damage. It's hard to bring down, though, which usually doesn't matter because it only does 1 damage a turn. But if you pump it with Darksteel Enforcer, or, like, I guess a countermeasure, or Zombie Dread Knight, it gets actually kind of hard to deal with. So I'm going to take it for the combo potential. And then take Varric's Embrace because I have no removal spells right now. Corpse Crawler's not that bad at all, but I don't have really anything to sacrifice to it. I'm going to take the Shadeclaw Zombie because I already have 2 Darkforged, and I'm pretty good chance of picking up the Darkshard Witches. And it's got regen for Zombie Dread Knight, which is quite good. Much better than Scourge Hydra, I think. Alloyant Strategist, a heroic, good card, mobility, pumps my creatures. It's without a doubt the pick there. These creatures are all pretty bad. The spell is not worth talking about. I think it's decent. Like, it can shrink something and you don't have to level it to give its ability because it scales pretty horribly, like -8 attack, -9 attack, -10 attack. It's not that good to level, but it does do its job at rank 1. Is it better than picking up... I think Sparkblade Assassin is the best creature in this pack. Because though Techno Gnome eventually comes in 19/19, you have to play it twice at a pretty... And 9/9 is decent at rank 2, but 3/3 is awful at rank 1. You have to play it twice to get it to a 19/19, and the same with Necrotic Worm. It gets an 18/19, and Necrotic Worm actually is better than Techno Gnome, because even though it's worse at rank 2, it's better at rank 1. And its rank 3 is comparable. But Sparkblade Assassin, you play it once and it's a 12/13 rank 2, which is absolutely gigantic. So I like this card much better than the other 2, more late game oriented creatures. So I'm gonna go ahead and take it. And then I could take Gravegast because I have a Dread Knight, but Gravegast is not a very good creature. I don't really have any pump spells. I have like Darksteel Enforcers, but it doesn't even have that much toughness. It's only got 5 and then 10. So it's not really worth taking over a Demon World Watcher or a Metamine Archivist. And I think Demon World Watcher is a little better, since Archivist requires me to have Metamines and I have 0 right now. And unlikely to pick up any more. Vengeful Spirit's a decent Pseudo removal spell because it deals 3 damage, then -3s their health and their attack. So if it doesn't kill it, it severely weakens it. And then it ranks 2 and 3, it basically kills everything because it's 5 damage and then -6 health. And then 7 damage -9. So it's 11 and then 16, which is quite a lot. So we're just going to take the Vengeful Spirit here. I think this pick's pretty difficult. I think if this were an expert draft, I would take the Darkshard Witch because I have 2 Darkforged plus the Spring Dryad Darkforged here. So having another Darkforged to pump my Enforcers or Shadeclaw Zombies is very strong. But Shard Thief Druid's a good card in the unlegendary format. Plus, I think it can see niche play in standard occasionally. But it's also heroic that I don't have, so I'm going to go ahead and take it because it's worth by far the most silver in this pack. And that's kind of the point of, doing this whole thing. I could take a Necroslime or a creature with regen. I don't think it's a creature with regen because I don't have anything to pump its toughness. I could take the Darksteel Enforcer to work with Shadeclaw Zombie, or I could take the Necroslime because Necroslime is gigantic. I think I would rather take the Darksteel Enforcer. I like having a lot of Darksteel Enforcers because they scale very well if you pick up a bunch of them. I want to take the Darksteel Enforcer here, but Scrapforce Shine's a heroic. And it can win the game, I guess. I picked up a ton of Darksteel Enforcers in this pack. Like, I have 3 and I've seen like 5. It's quite a lot. I'm gonna take the Symbiote for regen purposes, and Zombie Infantry because it's like a good underdrop. 6 power and then 10 power at ranks 2 is pretty good. Grave Gas is not very good, even with the Dread Knight. Like, you can't just pick cards with regen because you have Dread Knight. It's a good thing to weigh against. I mean, that's why I picked Ossuary Spirit, sort of. But Ossuary Spirit also works with the Darksteel Enforcers I have. Let's see here. Best card in this pack is probably Gripmeal. Shrinks their guys and makes mine bigger. Works with Ossuary Spirit. And this pack's pretty bad. I could take Marafiend as a kind of removal spell, or I could take Hungering Strike as a spell, because I only have 3 spells right now. I'd kind of like to take a few more. Just to impact the board without needing to play a creature. Have its effect immediately. Because most creatures have a delay when you play them. Would I rather have Vengeful Spirit or Marafiend? Marafiend's got 17 power at rank 3. I guess Marafiend's more likely to kill the creature than Vengeful Spirit, so we'll take that. And I guess I should have taken the Vengeful Spirit, because I don't want to take Necrotic Worm. Necrotic Worm's just... I never get the opportunity to play this card twice. I have 0 Nexus Overwatches in my deck too, so I can't even sneak level it. I just kind of have to play it twice, and I never, ever live when I play this card twice, so I'm just going to take another Marafiend. And then Cavern Serpent Slime, I guess. It's got 12 power rank 2, which is pretty good. It does get pumped by Dread Knight, but I don't have anything to pump its toughness, so it doesn't really matter that much. And that's the draft. I think I did okay. Definitely did really well in the getting heroics or value out of my draft. As far as that goes, I did very well. As far as the draft goes, I don't know how I'll do. I think this deck's probably like 2-2 quality. But we'll see. You can always play a little better or a little worse to make your deck perform. So, let's see.